well,
That sounded cool.
Tap. This is which one?
The song, I don't know, maybe it's just on my end. It was like speeding up and
maybe.
slowing down. It sounded cool.
No, I didn't do anything with that. But
All right.
What a
this
crappy
episode
band.
116.
they're terrible.
They really do suck.
I hate most of the people in that band.
Yeah, seriously, the drummer's the
Ranger.
worst. Drummer's the worst.
He's the second worst.
I mean,
One of the
singer,
guitarists
the
is the
singer.
worst.
One of the guitars the worst.
I'll let you guys decide.
Episode 116, A Ranger Beat a Wish. I'm your host, Bill Dean. Of course, here with my three co-hosts.
Hey, that's my
Happy birthday, William.
Yeah.
Yes, William. Happy birthday.
The big
Yep.
4-5.
Happy birthday to
It's
me.
about time you caught up.
The big
Yeah,
4-5, yeah.
It's
Caught
about
up
time
and
you caught up
passed
to
you
us.
all in one
Yeah,
fell swoop.
you went right past us.
It just breezed by. Brought to you by Pronto Radio, Curse of Sam Wu. I'm behind the keyboard. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you would be so kind. Gentlemen, what are we drinking?
All right, I'll start. I am out of my Cape May Frequent Fillers mug, which is right here from last year. Ooh. I am still trying to finish my Celebration keg, so same thing as the last couple of weeks. Celebration.
I like it.
Nice guy.
Never a bad thing. So
No. I just need tread not to hit my camera so I can stay in frame.
all right, Schwim.
I'm going. All right. I'm drinking. You guessed it. Another nightmare.
Now, does this one have the cadaver's tooth?
No, that's a stout that I got. That's a 22.5% stout that I got that has the
I know
tooth
we're
on
gonna
it.
we're gonna have to try it.
Yeah. This one is a sour, Chelsea Grin. Sour with strawberries, raspberries, Earl Grey tea, and bergamot orange zest.
No schnozberries?
I think there could be schnozberries, but they might be schnozberries.
And I
And
heard
I'm
they taste
gonna
like
drink it out of-
schnozberries.
I'm going to drink it out of the Nightmare glass. So I'm doubling up on Nightmare tonight.
Nice.
I like it. Esteban.
Melvin? What is Melvin
Yes.
drinking? That's what I
Yeah,
want
what
to know.
is Melvin
Hold on,
drinking?
Melvin's gonna hold it up in a second. Hang on.
Oh, Melvin, a dogfish?
Ooh, a 90.
90-minute
I like
for Melvin. Continuously hop for 90 minutes.
Always good.
We may need to plan a late winter, early spring trip down to Delaware.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Well, we have a house we can find to stay. Anyway, sorry, Dean. What are you drinking?
So I went small Ace in Space. It's by Other Half. It's an IPA. So little IPA, not too bad.
Nice.
No, when's the last time you had an IPA on this podcast?
Yeah, usually
Been a
it's just
while.
straight lactose in a glass.
It's a glass of lactose.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
That is absolutely not true.
It's
Dino,
not-
you
sorry.
had a-
It's your birthday. I shouldn't be saying things. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what a jerk.
I mean, we can say things just because it's his birthday. I mean,
I don't
he
know.
got made fun of on Saturday.
That's true.
Very true. Yeah. It's my choice to be born today, so I assume that it was your choice to offend me. So
Actually,
it's
it's your choice to be our friend. So that's really
You only have
Rough.
yourself. You only have yourself to blame
Yeah,
for all
Yeah,
of
it
this.
really is
I
all your
know.
fault.
We
didn't do
Yeah, that's true. I did friend you guys, and then I just kept coming back for more pain. And now I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, why did I do this to myself? But
happy
it's just-
birthday,
it is.
Dean. Happy
It's
birthday.
the way the cookie crumbles. All right, so let's get to what's on tap for today's episode. Here's our weekly snapshot. I don't know if you guys saw this, but a lot of people out there making trade rumors for Connor McDavid because they have nothing else to do in the hockey world. So this one was out there, and I actually don't think, but I think both. I think one side says slightly no, but I think it's very close. And it was Connor McDavid to the Colorado Avalanche
Oh, God.
for Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar. I think the Avs say no, but it's close.
Yeah,
There's
that's,
no way. There's no way.
I gotta agree with Dean.
This is how
That,
bored
that is
people are.
close. That is close, but I don't know if Colorado pulled that trigger. It's
That would
Yeah.
that would never happen. Just that's
Would it?
it. No picks going either way, or
No.
prospects, nothing.
All right,
That's
but
it.
do you think something
There's
else
no
needs to
way.
be added to that?
That would never happen.
On
It
what
would never
side?
just be McDavid for McKinnon and McCarr. That would never happen.
That's a pretty ridiculous trade.
It is a ridiculous trade, and that's exactly why it would never happen.
All right. Well, I know people are just making the the effort to put in trade rumors because God forbid.
Are they though? Did they put any effort into that one?
No, it didn't seem like
I
much.
don't think so. Let's just trade best players for best players.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, who the hell knows
Vassy
if it?
for Shesterkin. Straight up. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
think-
no.
I was going to say, Dean, you'd be dumb to turn that down because I think Vassy is much better than Shesterkin.
See, I didn't even think.
I just
It just came right to my head. Boom.
I,
That's how easy it
No
is.
effort.
I didn't think about
Nope,
I
zero.
didn't think about this. Phil Peedle for Braden Point. I didn't think about that. Just who says no?
Well, that's terrible. So I'm gonna stop you right there. That's terrible.
I think it's not as bad as you think, but
Get the hell
all right,
out of here.
So here was a lot of discussions this week too, and it's all in regards to Connor Bedard because he had one of the most
Yep.
epic
Ridiculous.
World Juniors tournaments in terms of scoring.
Mhm.
He beat the goal scoring record for Eric Lindros and points and stuff, and they're all talking about the best World Juniors runs by certain players, and you look at Eberle and Bedard obviously, and there's a lot of
And
other
nobody
players
beat
that have awesome-
Forsberg.
Forsberg,
Yeah,
yep.
Forsberg's crazy.
Yep. But looking back on it, so right now Florida is a bottom 5 team, and they traded their first round pick for Ben Sherratt last year. Could you imagine if Ben Sherratt turns into Connor Bedard and how badly that organization would get wrecked for that?
Oh man.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic trade.
Florida went from the, I don't want to say the highest to highs, but they were really good last year to now just being absolute garbage.
Almost
It's
President's
They were
Trophy, right?
President's Trophy.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Colorado
President's-
was.
Or was Colorado? Wait, what year
I
was
can't
it?
remember.
No, it was last year. I thought they were
Yeah,
president.
no,
and-
Florida did.
presidents. Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
president's
there's-
trophy.
Colorado won the cup, and they weren't President's Trophy because there was just
Yeah.
a whole thing about President's Trophy's winners never winning the cup.
Yeah, they got freaking
Yep.
swept.
Yeah, president's trophy to not making the playoffs. That's almost as bad as the Devils winning the cup in '95 and then not making it at '96, which I still
They
which
they
I still
lost
blame.
to
Still blame
a
the
good
Rangers
portion of
for
their
it 'cause they
team.
put Glenn Healy in.
Clint Healy.
Are the Rangers the last President's Trophy winning team to win the cup?
no.
94?
It's in Detroit.
Yeah,
There was
someone's-
Do it.
Detroit,
someone's done it recently.
Colorado,
Oh, Detroit.
Colorado. I think also there's back-to-back years. I think it was Colorado, Detroit.
Oh, that's right.
Back-to-back
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
They were both President's Trophy winners.
Not too bad. So there was all about that, and then everybody's now talking about the the Bedard tank, and how you'll see other teams, including, when you look at the NHL standings, right, the worst teams, and let me just go to points because I didn't pull this up real fast, but essentially, Arizona is god awful. Chicago, I think, is worst. Is
The worst right
now? Yeah, here league. Chicago has 24 points. Columbus has 26. Anaheim has 28. Coyotes have 31, and San Jose have 32. Now they're saying that if you're one of those teams like the Vancouver Canucks, the Philadelphia Flyers, even the Ottawa Senators, do you just completely tank your season and sell off, valuable assets? Like, would it be smart for Vancouver to trade Bo
Horvat.
Horvat now? And because every game he scores a goal, it's increasing your chance at losing points. At getting Connor Bedard. Should this be a super tank by all these teams? Because is a 3% chance of getting Bedard better than a 20% chance of possibly making a run to the playoffs?
No team's going to tank because I don't think there's a player that exists that would willingly
No.
tank for a draft.
Not players, but a coach.
Management-
coach
yeah,
and
management
an
selling.
organization.
Management selling, like Chicago already prepared for this, and they were
Yeah.
probably the most obvious, right? That they were, preparing to potentially make a run for the number 1 pick by doing this, and you can almost certainly guarantee that Patrick Kane will probably be gone before the trade deadline, maybe a couple weeks or so, and Taves probably also. So I think if anybody, I mean, that's the most obvious in my opinion. That Chicago already started the process, and they're pretty much as bad as we thought that they were going to be, and they'll be one of the worst. Bottom three for sure. But I mean, yeah, Vancouver should. I think they just based on what the team is, they probably should start collecting some assets and try to have some sort of restructure. Not so much a rebuild, but a restructure of that team. Try to figure something out, but I'm not buying the whole tanking per se. But I think Chicago made it pretty obvious that they want it to be bad.
Yeah,
I don't
know if
think
they're tanking.
Chicago. I
I
don't know
if
if
they're tanking,
Chicago
but they're
needs
trying to be bad.
try to tank. I don't think they need to tank. They're just that bad.
No,
Well,
management
they
did what they
They
had
were
to do.
bad
They
last
made the
year.
team. They made the team worse. They
They're
they got rid of the
What do they have,
promising
9
young
wins?
players, and they brought in a bunch of randoms and didn't fill any needs for anything. Didn't even really bring. They haven't even. There's nothing of a rebuild even evident in the team. But you thought that they were by selling all these players that they're rebuilding, but they're trading all their young players, which still doesn't make sense. But like even if you can draft Bedard, you'd still want those guys. But no, I don't. They've been bizarre, but yeah, it seems like they're the only ones who are obviously trying to be as bad as they can.
Yeah. Okay, if you are the Vancouver GM, do you sell someone like Bo Horvat a little cheaper to get him out because you want that better shot at Connor Bedard? Will this be a buyer's market because other teams are expecting to try to sell off because they want to drop in the standings? Will that help the contending teams? Do you think that'll happen?
It's possible. It's possible. It really depends on who's looking for what and willing to make what deal.
I think some of these players are going to have to be sold for cheap though, cheaper. If these teams really, and you look at some of the players who never went at deadlines. I think you're still getting overpayments for random players, which is strange. But like the marquee players, it seems like they're never over. No one's overpaying for any marquee player. They're overpaying for like some sort of random role player somewhere.
Panic buy.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean rightfully so. Management wants as good a package as they can get for these star players because you're losing a potential franchise player, and you'd want to replace them with a potential up and coming franchise player. But teams aren't really, and the teams are still cap strapped. So it's making everything even more difficult to make these trades. So let alone what package you can get for these guys. It's whether or not the team could even take him to begin with. They might be able to offer something, but they can't fit his salary under their cap.
Yeah.
It's a calculated risk too, because as good as Bedard is now, there's no guarantee that he'll be this good in the NHL. Like I know all signs are pointing to he's going to be great in the NHL, but sometimes it's a crapshoot with these first overall draft picks.
Yeah.
Shane. Not that Shane Wright. Yeah. Well, Yakupov, Daig.
But but hold on.
So
I'll let you get back to this. But they were saying that when guys are this hyped, like Bedard, McDavid, Crosby, they rarely flounder. McKinnon,
yeah.
Like
Stamkos.
what's like an upper echelon player
Tavares.
that you think? So Tavares is actually the guy I was going to bring up. Is he the player that you can look back on and be like, the career wasn't what it should have been? Like number 1 overall pick, Tavares, we were expecting more. Like who is that guy? Like, but I'm talking like high up. Like Daig wasn't this hyped, and neither was Yakupov, and but when you look at the top echelon guys, is it Eric Lindros? Because Lindros should have been Lemieux, right? Lemieux with hands. Like punching hands.
Yeah,
that's what Lindros should have been.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
I think Lindros very well could have been, and he certainly showed it when he was healthy. Yeah. So it's not like he was ever bad, but the guy was so hurt all the time. I think Tavares. I think I don't know. No one was saying Tavares was going to be Crosby. Maybe sort of comparisons to Stamkos a little bit, right, in that echelon, I guess. But Tavares has done very well. He hasn't won anything, but as far as contributions, statistics, and he's captain of 2 organizations now, right? So
Yep.
yeah, I think he lived up to his hype.
But would he? So in hindsight, would Tavares be a player which you would mortgage your team's future to get as a first overall?
Now or back then,
We're
or
saying
in
right now,
retrospect,
yeah.
would you have done that?
In retrospect,
Oh, I would have.
Probably. I don't probably mortgage your team to build around him. I think he's still a player that you can build a franchise around, and you get him a supporting cast.
Now?
I mean, Toronto.
Wait, now?
Yeah, we're talking about like in retrospect. We know how we've seen how his
I thought
career
you
has
meant
panned out.
Tavares now.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you've seen how his career has panned out. Would you mortgage everything else to land him in the draft? And I would say, yeah, because I think he is a piece that you can build a team around for sure. He's not, he's not Crosby, he's not McDavid, but he's still elite, in his own right. And you're seeing what Toronto's doing with him now, and he's kind of like, Patrice Bergeron in that sense as well, because Patrice Bergeron was never like the offensive superstar, but he's so impactful to that team and so good. So, and Tavares, I think, does a lot of that as well. And we can say what we want to about Toronto, but I mean, since he's gone over there, they've had at least regular season some pretty great success in the regular season by building around him. But they already sort of had that in place and then got him. But I think the Islanders should have. Well, I mean, that was Tavares' choice, right? It would have been better for the Islanders to have Tavares, I think.
He wanted to stay. Remember
Oh,
that bullshit
for a hot second.
Oh yeah.
That's such
But
BS.
to go back and answer your question, Dean, I can't think of somebody, and with the hype that Bedard is getting, as much as McDavid, as much as Crosby, he's this next. I mean, I know Lafreniere got a lot of hype as well, but I mean, he wasn't being compared to those guys.
No.
He was just going to be like the best of the recent, right? That was drafted,
Yep.
and I mean, I would go all in for this kid. For sure. I don't think he's going to fail at all because I can't remember somebody with this much hype not failing. Yeah. Not winning a cup, you know. You had Ovechkin as well, was also, one of those guys. And look at what he's doing. So.
But
Does he win Rookie of the Year?
Ovechkin was a first overall.
He was first overall. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking Malkin. Yeah. What'd you say, Shrim? Sorry.
I said, does he win Rookie of the Year, though, his first year? Do you think he goes off like in his first year? Or I think it depends on what team he's on.
Yeah. So
I think he does anyway.
Yeah,
no matter what team he's on.
I mean, there's some good kids in that draft class too, and you have to. Hey guys, I'm back.
Yeah.
You think he's
you have
gonna
to consider, some of the guys who were drafted last year, right, that aren't playing, and where they get put in, because every now you get like a goaltender who looks great or some defenseman, right, who all of a sudden comes into the league at like 21 or so and they do great. But no, I think he's probably even now the favorite to call Calder Trophy winner for next season, no matter where he plays.
You think he's gonna go off all out in front of the 5,000 deep at Mullet Arena?
Oh yeah, where we will be in 10 days time.
Yeah, 10 days.
Oh, I cannot wait. 10.
We'll do a
10
emergency
days.
pod from there. I think we're in.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Listen, when you look at those teams, and we've talked about it, we don't want to see him in Philly, and we don't want to see him in Montreal.
No.
But I'm cool with the Canucks or San Jose or the Coyotes or the Ducks or the Blue Jackets. I don't want them in Chicago just because they're it's a shithead organization still with that owner. So I want one of those really, one of those teams to get. And I wouldn't mind Columbus. I think it'd be fun to root, to see him in the Metropolitan, being ridiculous.
I would prefer him. I would personally like him in a good market. I don't want him to be like go to Columbus or go to Arizona or somewhere where I mean, I think you can get a decent market in one of the. Oh, of course, Vancouver's going to be a great market no matter what.
Canadian
but I think
team.
either of those California teams, I think
Montreal.
Anaheim and San Jose can get a pretty solid. But it's just like people in Columbus and people in Arizona, they just they don't care, and it doesn't matter who goes over there. There'll be a little bit of hype and maybe an excitement for the first half of the season or something. It's going to die off. It's upsetting. Like, I watched the Penguins game against Arizona yesterday, and I mean, if that stadium holds 4,000 fans, there must have been 3,950 Penguin fans there.
Yeah, that place was crazy filled with Penguin fans. I heard them chanting, and you could see them all. Like the whole crowd was black and gold. It was crazy, and you heard them chanting "Let's go Pens!" Like pretty
clear as day.
Pretty
I mean, it's a small arena, so you can hear it better. But still, yeah, in Arizona.
Yeah,
and even Columbus too. They get Johnny Gaudreau, and that's a big name. Market piece. Like, they weren't going to be good, but they bring him in, and there's still no one there. It's another one where Pittsburgh goes into Columbus, and it's 50-50 or 60-40 Pittsburgh when they go in there. So I feel like it's wasted, these names in these markets.
That's what I was going to bring up. Imagine for some reason Columbus gets it. They get the biggest fish at the free agent market this past summer, and then the very next year they get the first overall pick, and it's Connor Bedard. Like, how stupid would that be? That would just like, wow, that would just be dumb as anything.
I do gotta say though, Arizona's due for something, right? They gotta have.
Yes.
They need something, right? They've been here in the league for a long time, and it's been kind of a joke, and they've been the butt of the joke for a while. But they haven't gotten. They've never had a number one overall pick, which is wild.
And that's a market that Bettman is just desperate, to see succeed. It seems to be that no matter what, but it seems to be no matter what, Bettman refuses to do anything to. It seems like Bettman refuses to move Arizona out of Arizona, whether they're Phoenix, Arizona, whatever the hell you want to call them. It's just like it would not shock me for him to go to Arizona. Because then that'll be the bargaining chip for the league to be like, these guys need that new arena quicker than not. You know what I mean? Just like
he's gonna put asses in the seats. People are gonna want to come to see him.
I hope so. And that brings up my point. I don't know that there's any interest in hockey, that much interest in hockey, where anyone's going to care that much. Maybe ticket sales will go up a little bit, but it's just like with Florida. Florida last year was President's Trophy winning, and they still couldn't sell out their arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Watch him go to a team that has no business getting him. It's going to be some team that's 10th in the lottery or whatever the hell it is, and they're going to win the damn lottery, and they're going to land him.
Pittsburgh's going to miss the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, and they're going to win the lottery.
If they win the damn lottery and get Bedard, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do.
For some reason, Fitzgerald fleeces the right team to get their first overall pick, and they win the lottery, and the Devils get him.
Some idiot bottom dwelling team trades their first round pick. I could see Chicago doing that. I could see Vancouver doing that.
Oh man. Speaking of, we talked about Chicago, but there's rumors, and Alex Friedman was talking about his podcast, that maybe Patrick Kane has an issue where he's going to need surgery, and could they see him signing another one-year contract, getting the surgery, being out for the season, and then doing this whole shenanigans next year? So that would be a big piece, obviously, off the boards, if that's true.
I mean, it's
going to be weird to see him in another jersey if he does get traded or sign somewhere or whatever. But it's going to be weird. And Taves, yeah. I don't think Taves as much. For me personally, I think it's going to be Kane, seeing, because he's a U.S. player, and I always favored him over Taves and everything.
Both of them.
It's going to be weird for both, definitely. But for me, I think Kane more. It's just going to be very strange to see him in something else.
Because they've been the two rocks of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it would just be weird to see either of them in a jersey that wasn't Chicago.
All right, the 2023 Winter Classic was the most watched regular season game on U.S. cable TV. The Bruins against the Penguins averaged 1.8 million viewers on TNT, which was up 31% from the 2022 event. I didn't think that many people watched this. I had no interest, considering it's been in Fenway before, and These are two teams that have obviously been there, but it apparently did very well, and that's good for hockey. Obviously, that
it did well. I can tell you why it did well because
it was
Penguins and Boston. Penguins and Boston markets are enormous. So you have all of those fan bases watching. No matter what, you're going to get views like that, just because, and that's what the NHL is going for. I said it last week, the same thing, and this is why they pick these teams. It's unfortunate, but it's why they do it. It's all business.
I'm curious to see what next year's will look like with Seattle and Vegas. What those numbers are going to be like. What it's going to look like out there in Seattle. That would actually be something I would be interested in going to.
Yeah.
Just because I'm looking for a reason to go back to Seattle, because when I was there in 2006, I loved it.
Let's get a sponsor. Send us out. Sam, work on it.
Sponsor
Sam, get on that, bud.
See, here's what it is. Sam is trying to get us a private jet on the Let's Go Devils podcast. So once we get that private jet,
nice,
we'll be able to fly ourselves out to wherever the hell we want to fly to.
Nice.
All right. I'm in for that.
I believe in you.
3 stars of the week this past week. David Pastrnak was on fire. 4 games. He had 7 goals. He had the assist, obviously, 8 points total.
Who's the second star? Who's the second star?
Hold on.
Who's the second star?
Hold on. Actually, this is my rankings, first of all. He's not the second.
Wow.
Anyways, Pastrnak with obviously wins against the Kings, and then he had the game-winning, which was the game winner. He also had the San Jose Sharks, a good goal against San Jose Sharks. And then he capped the week with a 3-goal, the hat trick and the 4 points in the Anaheim Ducks 7-1 win. Second star of the week, Rasmus Dahlin. I'm just giving Short Guy some shit. No,
that's not who the NHL picked. Yeah, that's right, baby.
Well, I don't really care about NHL.com.
Let's go, baby.
No, but Jack Hughes had 5 goals, including a game winner against. Actually, he didn't get the game winner. He had the game tire for the New York Rangers. But yeah,
he's all we got.
I told Short Guy he's really good.
All we got. Yeah. He's all we got right now, because there's no one else really scoring consistently. He's been incredible. Some of the goals some of the scoring are insane.
Yeah. That first one he had. The second one wasn't as good. I think that Chesty should have had that, but the first one was a really good goal. Junio on Facebook Live saying Dougie possibly better than Adam Fox. I don't know what you're smoking.
I don't. Matt Junio, I love you, but I don't think so.
No, not even close.
Dougie's great, but
Dougie's having a good year though.
He's having a good year.
No, he's having a great
year. Not
Adam
Fox.
Hey, speaking of, you know who looks good recently?
Who?
Ty Smith. Short Guy always looks good.
Former NJ Dev.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he got the call up, scored, and
I still think we won.
He looks getting big minutes. I don't think so. I mean, I know that he had a good start to the season, and he was looking like a steal. But you're kind of now he's hurt, right?
Oh, yeah, he's hurt.
But prior to the injury, you're kind of seeing what John Marino brings, which is a lot of average.
No, still. Yeah. I mean, it depends. We had such high hopes for Ty Smith, and it just didn't pan out. I mean, I would love to see him do well. If he does well with you guys, that's great. I would love to see it, but we tried, we waited. Just it wasn't going to work out. So, hey, it is what it is.
We had all those Devils fans saying Ty Smith was better than Adam Fox, and obviously that was quite the opposite.
We had a Ranger fan say Keandre Miller is going to get more Norris Trophy votes than Adam Fox. I remember a Ranger fan saying that.
I'm getting Keandre Miller in a minute. Hold on. He's been on a heater recently. He's slowly getting Norris votes.
By Dean. By William.
By you and
slowly voting, slowly adding the votes.
Slowly. All right, you did talk about Pasta on. Ray Lou actually asked about it, and there were rumors that the camps are still far apart. David Pastrnak and the Bruins, and I think that the Bruins are in real trouble of signing this guy. There's been issues for long, and I know money solves everything. But apparently they don't want to pay him the 11 plus that it's going to take, like an Artemi Panarin contract. They don't want to go anywhere over like 9 is the rumors, and that's a big difference.
That's a big difference, yeah.
Yeah, especially if that
pisses him off. Like
he just wants to get paid. I mean,
over 11.
He's your best player. You should pay him that much. Cap's going to go up.
Well, I mean, it's there's still the future of like where's Krejci and Bergeron? Where are they going to if he's going to sign his long-term deal? And they leave. I mean, that's huge. I mean, Krejci is playing very well this season, coming back, but losing Bergeron is enormous for that team. Mm-hmm. Even at 37, 38, whatever he is right now, it's enormous. It's a huge loss, and they are not the team that they are right now without him. And I think it's I'm sure Pastrnak wants to play in a competitive team, but if you want 11 plus million, and he's not a competitive team. Yes. But if he wants that 11 plus million, he's not going to a Stanley Cup contender. He can go to one that potentially can become one, like years down the line, that has that type of cap space. But all the contenders are cap strapped. I mean, they're all there. So he's not gonna. You can stay in Boston and be on a solid team. Granted, their prospect pool isn't so great. I don't know. I still think he stays. I just think that there's some sort of Boston loyalty with all those guys that they figure something out, and he stays, and he's going to be their next, piece right after Bergeron leaves. Yeah. I think it happens, but it's something to watch for sure.
One team that would, two teams actually in his own division that would be really interesting if they could pony up would be the Buffalo Sabres or the Detroit Red Wings. Like if those two teams who do have cap, if they could make a move for David Pastrnak, it deflates the Bruins tremendously, and it makes their teams that much better. Because you look at Tage Thompson, who is absolutely ridiculous, and Detroit has pieces with they have a Norris caliber defenseman in Maurice Seider, and Lucas Raymond is awesome, and they're just getting better, and they have pieces and players. I really do think the Bruins are in trouble with David Pastrnak, unless management really, really the ownership comes down and says, all right, we just have to do this, because it's imperative that team to have him long term.
He'll be missed if he leaves. So no, I was just gonna say he'll be missed.
I think Boston will cave. I think Boston will cave and then offer him. I don't know if they're going to offer him over 11, but maybe they'll offer him something. What were you saying? They want to do like 9 something. I think they'll cave and they'll meet like in the middle.
I'm sure that there's there's so let's say Boston offers him 9. There's enough around Boston to where I'm sure they can get him an extra 2 in some kind of endorsement deals to get him to 11 in some way, shape, or form.
But he'll get that anyway.
That's the way Boston is. I know, but that's just the way Boston is. But
he'll do a signing bonus of friggin' $2 million.
Yeah, something stupid. Like that.
There's also a pride thing with some of these players that they're better statistically or whatever than some of these other guys are getting way more a much bigger contract than they are. They want to be like they want to hold that, right. I deserve to be like in this tier of paid players. Like I don't want to take a discount just because I have sponsors.
Well, And one thing I forgot to bring up, if you look on his own team, Charlie McAvoy, who's a very good defenseman, right? He's Norris caliber, has not won a Norris, is not one of the best defensemen in the league. He's top 10, but it's not top 5. He's making 9.5. So Pasternak's like, how the F is this guy getting this and I'm not getting at least 11, right? Because he's that much of a better player.
Yeah, has to. Yeah. What does Tampa have to circumvent to land Pastrnak? What do they have
some guys in LTIR, and you're good.
Sorry, Schmim, not happening.
I think Vasi has to change his name and get a new contract under a different name.
Hey, listen.
They can somehow finagle that.
Hey, Schwim, I'm going to tell you this right now. Shorts guy's available to be Tampa's starting goalie next year.
Shorts guy, I want you to be Tampa's backup goalie right now. I do not want Brian Elliott coming back for another season.
Hey, listen, I have no problem getting all blue pads and going down and being Tampa's backup goalie. You'll be on my on my will call list, like top of the list.
Nice.
Schwim.
There's definitely two guys in Alex Killorn and Vlad Domestikov where that's alone is $7 million.
Killorn has got to go. He has to. They have to do something with him. His contract is too much for the little that he does.
But next year, when you start to pay Mikhail Sergachev $8.5 million per
year, they're paying him. They're paying Cirelli. They're paying Chernak next year.
Yeah, Chernak 5.2. Yeah, you look at the jumps.
You gotta get
jumps
rid of
in there.
You have to.
You have Chernak going from 2.9 to 5.2. You have Sergachev going from 4.8 to 8.5.
But he's taking a big jump this year, though.
Yeah, no, Sergachev's been good. He really has.
That could prove to be actually like you got shortchanged if he keeps going the way he's going. Yeah. He's doing like really, really well.
8.5, yeah. I mean that's tough. That's a large.
It's contract. A lot, but still. But if he's what if he's leading the defensive scoring like next year or something like that? Would you say that's worth it?
You have 5 guys next year making over $8.5 million per year. 5 guys over $8.5 million per year.
And our team, they have to restructure the damn team every single year, and they're still one of the top teams every single year. Yeah, they trade away multiple players and acquire other players, and they have to restructure the team every year.
They don't lose anyone good. That's why they restructure the team. The only effective player that they lost basically is Yanni Gord.
Palat.
No, Palat was a big loss.
Palat, yeah. Gord 1 year, Palat the next.
Gord was
so
you
lost.
Tampa restructuring
role players.
Is Tampa restructuring is going into the season. There's probably some kind of a bingo type thing, and they spin it. They're like, all right, who's going on LTIR come February? Yeah. And they just pick a player at random. Oh,
Stamkos
sorry, Vassy. Sorry, Vassy.
You better not jinx that man. All right, he's been healthy for a little bit now.
I know. He's due now. He's due. It's his turn. It's his turn in the bingo wheel.
He's done enough. He's been injured enough. It's somebody else's turn.
It's fast.
You imagine where he would be at points and goal wise if he didn't miss all those games.
He'd be one of the top players.
He'd be well over in terms of 600, I think.
Nowhere near Lemieux.
Nearer Lemieux?
No. Nowhere near Lemieux. If Lemieux were healthy.
Oh, geez. If Lemieux would have stayed healthy, holy crap. So I would love to see what the race would have been if I mean, not to compare apples to apples or oranges, whatever the hell you want, but had Lemieux not gotten hurt or gotten into his health issues, and if Jaromir Jagr had not lost seasons to lockouts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the KHL, right? And going to the KHL.
And the KHL, yeah. Like, if those two things would have happened, it would have been like, holy crap, man. Those guys would have had
playing now, he'd be racking up points in the NHL.
Seriously.
Well, no one would have signed him. No one would have signed him. He would have been. But I mean, you take those years, right? Oh yeah, Bone Storm's ready to sign him.
Well, I actually disagree. I think a team would take a chance on Jagr just for the sheer.
Well, it's not like he didn't. He was available. No one offered him anything.
I don't think he ever really wanted to come over.
He kind of courted a little bit.
I guess I guess it probably sort of depended, right? If like Arizona's offering him a contract he's not going to sign, he's like, I might as well just stay here.
Yeah, he's having more fun running his team and playing for his team in in what do you call it?
50-year-old.
Good for him. It's that is something that if the four of us were ever told, listen, and you're going to turn 50, you're going to own a hockey team, and occasionally you're going to play for that team to save it. The four.
Ooh, yep, absolutely.
Shorts guy.
Yep, my shorts guy. Shorts guy is right.
There he is.
We got you back. Yeah, but you're right. We would absolutely take that chance.
I would.
Yeah,
I would too.
All right, back to some other news. Kyle Connor sets the franchise record for his 41st game-winning goal for the Jets. He is awesome. Kyle Connor is probably the least talked about American hockey player in the league.
Yeah, he's very underrated.
So awesome. And I can't wait for the NHL to get their heads out of their asses and start to do like a World Classic, or get back in the Olympics.
Our USC team would be pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
USA is so good.
We need international. We need international competition in ice hockey because I think it would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to see all these guys together on one team.
I feel like we're one of the only nations in the world that does not have any kind of sense of the just how great international competition is, and I wish that would change. Like what was it, the World Cup of Hockey in '96? I thought that was one of the best damn things in the world.
Yeah,
that was one of the best damn things in the world.
Take a look at this. The U.S. has five American-born players, or the U.S. has 5 players in the top 10 in scoring right now. Jason Robertson, Tage Thompson, Kyle Connor, Matthew Tkachuk, and Jack Hughes. They're the only country to have 5 in the top 10. It's
throwing Austin Matthews, throwing friggin' Adam Fox throwing. Wait, is Fox American or is he? Oh yeah, he's American.
Yeah, Foxy's American. Yep.
Oh my God!
Obviously, Bo Horvat.
Or no,
Bo Horvat's is Canadian. But
he's Canadian.
there's so many. Alex Tuck. They have so many good players playing, hockey right now.
So then,
with a U.S. jersey on, it'd be so much fun.
So
Johnny,
when is the next one? Is there one?
So then
is there one scheduled for
Quick in net?
Yeah,
I'm good with Thatcher Demko. Bring me some Thatcher.
Oh, Demko, yeah.
Too, yeah.
Throw him in there.
Demko Hellebuck.
Yeah.
Demko Hellebuck.
And you still have guys like, Joe Pavelski would still be on the team. Brady Tkachuk. Like, it's so much fun to just
Jake
imagine
Gensel.
the roster the U.S. can put together. Yeah.
Oh my God, definitely.
And it's funny.
Oh my God.
I used
so
to think,
awesome to watch.
A year ago, Chris Kreider would have been on the team. He's not on the team anymore because there's so many other young
guys
players that have
surpassed him now. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Tage Thompson now, right, and Robertson, who are just taking the league by storm.
Yeah.
Is what's his face on Arizona? Is he American? Clayton Keller, or is he Canadian?
Yes, he is. He's
American.
He's American.
He's having a good season.
It's Chychrun. It's Chychrun, who was actually born in the U.S., but he plays for Canada because I don't know, his father or something is Canadian.
Because he's a
jerk.
Douchebag.
I don't want him anyway. Yeah.
You'd eventually get Luke Hughes coming in too.
That being said, Canada can probably make 2 gold medal competing teams.
I'm not saying they're better than Canada yet, but
if
we're close.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tampa. If U.S. makes it, I don't think I'd be like. I haven't been this excited for a U.S. team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in a
while,
like just to see all these players. Oh my God, it'd be outstanding.
Well, World Cup is supposed to be this before this coming season, or
it was supposed to be 20.
Right?
It was supposed to be this year coming up, but now it looks like 2024.
I keep pushing it like always.
Seriously.
Yep.
I don't want another. I do not want another like all-star teams of a bunch of countries. Like just have countries represent themselves. Even if they're not in the NHL, just like have the Olympic squad or whatever it is, like put them in. Have some sort of like qualifying, do whatever. I don't want like Team North America and Team Europe made up of like.
No.
I think Team Europe.
They could put enough teams together. They could have enough. They don't need to do those. They don't need to do North America.
They don't need to do those all-star. Yeah, they don't need to do those all-star teams. They just need to just represent your damn country. Play for your country,
Exactly.
International competition, international pride. Your 20 or whatever, 22 top players for your country.
Treat like the Olympics,
and you compete.
Treat like the Olympics.
The World Cup.
Germany can have a solid squad, right?
How many are you doing? 8? You doing 8 teams?
I don't know. Whatever they have, there's some sort of qualification, right? And obviously, Sweden and Finland and even Czechia and Slovakia, United States, Canada, obviously, and I think I'm assuming we're assuming at this point.
Finland, Russia.
Hold on though, I don't know this Russian thing. You got to pump the brakes on this Russian thing.
In 3 years, I
don't think Russia's going to be
spot.
Well, I also hope that this isn't in 3 years from now. I would like it to be sooner than then.
Oh, yeah. So I think we went over this before, but I did a Team World as that 8th spot because I thought it was cool. And you do have a team that's very competitive and could definitely make, that 8th spot. Because if Germany comes in, they're not going to beat Sweden. I don't think they'll beat Sweden, Finland, U.S., Canada, Russia. So I want something competitive.
They're not going to. They're probably not going to in the Olympics either. There's this isn't just like some big pomp and circumstance event where you're just looking for entertainment. Like you just make an all-star game. That's what that crap is for. This is supposed to be the pride of your country. It's the World Cup. It's literally called the World Cup. Like it's the pride of your country.
Right.
I think it's treated just like the Olympics. Have some sort of qualification for whoever gets in. Obviously, the big names are always going to be there. They probably don't even have to qualify because all the players are playing in the NHL anyway. But some of these are just how they have qualifications. Whatever. Like have them do it, and then their NHL guys can join them whenever. But I think that's the way to do it. And anything else, I think, is just like a bastardization of like the whole concept of a World Cup of anything.
I just hope that the players take it seriously. That's what I want. I want the players to go there and compete seriously.
They would.
I would hope so.
It's been so long since they represented their country in anything, right? Since World Juniors, most of these guys haven't represented the country since World Juniors. So they're chopping at the bit here.
And I really hope that that's the case, because I would hate to see this World Cup of hockey and like players get on this team and they kind of like, well, I got my season coming up, but I don't want to get hurt. I want to see them go all out and to really push for this. Just like the World Cup in soccer, like players will run through a wall to win the World Cup, regardless of when it is. I mean, we saw that, that was evident this year. Even in the middle of their regular seasons, they were still doing all that they could. But I just want to make sure that regardless of what happens, that these players are out there playing to win and that they're playing to take it seriously. That's what I want to see, because I think
it's not just another All-Star game, right?
Not another All-Star game that they're not worried about. They're not worried about their upcoming season or any contracts. Just like go play and represent and die for your country. Yeah. Go die on the ice for your country. And win.
I think they would.
These players have so much pride, especially when it comes to their home nation. And it goes everywhere, U.S., Canada, all of them. They take such pride in it, and I can't imagine that anybody wouldn't take it seriously. I mean, it's basically a new tournament, even though it has existed. It's barely been played, so maybe I don't know. Maybe it won't be as like crazy as an Olympic game, but I'm kind of hoping. I mean, even just go to '94. I know things aren't the same, like worldwide as it was in '94. But you go back to '94 and you look at that original World Cup of hockey, or '96, whenever that was, and 96. Yeah, that was so. I mean, the passion in all of that was through the roof, and I think I expect a lot of the same, especially since it's going to be a new thing again, I guess, in theory.
Yeah, that's my hope.
If you don't count the last one,
especially the team that U.S. can put on the ice, I think those players would be jacked up to play for that team, knowing like how freaking good they would be.
And I would say with hockey players, when you look at like their own junior teams or their college teams, Cale Makar gives shit to all other players that played college hockey because his UMass team won. And same thing with apparently Mitch Marner. The thing he talks about most is winning the Memorial Cup with his junior team. So much so that all the players on the team can't stand when he talks about it because he continually just lays it in there. He won the Memorial Cup.
Well, it's because that's the last thing he won.
And he's on Toronto.
Exactly.
He's on Toronto, so he can't really brag about winning too much.
Do you guys remember when I won that? Do you guys remember in the good old days when I made it past the first round?
Yeah. One more good hockey moment. Obviously, this past Monday, Damar Hamlin, safety of the Bills. Everyone knows the story. It's out there. Mm-hmm. But he had cardiac arrest on the field, and he's doing much better, which is awesome. But the Buffalo Sabres paid tribute to the Bills' safety with a moment of celebration before Saturday's game. They're big in Buffalo and supporting each other in the teams, and they had DH3 T-shirts, and the crowd was all into it. So very good. And obviously with what happened, it kind of brought back memories of past NHL players that have kind of had the same issue. And you think about Chris Pronger taking the slap shot to the chest where it stopped his heart.
Yeah,
and that was live on
Rich
TV.
Peverly.
A lot of people forget about that. Well, but at least Peverly, if you remember when he was on the bench and you didn't really know what the hell happened, Chris Pronger, I remember watching that, and I can remember, the ex-Ranger GM, that's Columbus, John Davidson, he goes, this isn't good. Like, he saw him get hit in the chest, and he knew right away something wasn't going well. And they did CPR right there on the ice, and you could just remember all these instances, and it is scary when that kind of thing happens. You just take a step back and be like, real life, like these people, the things that they put their bodies through, and just to see that in real time is scary. And it just brought back memories of like I said, Chris Pronger. But then Steve talked about Rich Peverly, and there's so many guys where you see them off in the they get wheeled off in the dressing room and they're doing CPR on these guys.
Clint Howardchuk. I mean,
the neck.
Led,
Chuck.
He almost,
Richard Sednick.
He almost bled out. He almost bled out on the ice.
Sednick.
So
Jay Bouwmeester.
So my parents were hesitant to allow me to play goal because of a situation like that where you would get hit in the chest at the wrong possible time, and my